afternoon. I just found out that it's actually today, the 21st of January, 2021. There's a lovely sequence. I hope you've had a marvelous day and a marvelous week so far. We are going to be creative today. I'm going to be the tool to unleash the creativity and the artist within you. So allow me to share some ideas with you. It's easy steps that anyone can do, and very quickly you will notice that you can also be an artist. So what I have prepared for today is just a board, and this now can be, so imagine with me, this can be a piece of furniture, it can be under plates, it can be a wall in your house, it can be a chest of drawers where you do this technique. So I've painted, the base coat is done in levels light. So this is the light color you can see on the bottom of this board. This is just superwood. We used a foam roller to roll it on to the superwood straight. So with Tjhoko paint, when painting on varnish surfaces, make sure the varnish is older than 6 months, and then you clean well with lacquer thinners before you start painting. Allow the thinners to evaporate, allow 40 minutes time before you start painting, but on something like superwood, you don't need to clean. It's a raw timber surface. Even on any other timber surface that's raw, no cleaning is required. Just make sure it's dust-free, it's clean, and it's dry before you start painting. I'm going to share with you what I have done on the other side so that you can see what we are going to work towards. So this is what I'm going to share with you, is how to use your stencil work. Last week we focused on stencil work. We showed how to do stencil work with both a stencil brush and a foam roller. If you missed that video, it is available on our YouTube link, Tjhoko Paint. And now today I'm going to share something different, also a technique that you can do with stenciling, and to create something very artistic on a surface. So after you have painted your surface, you allowed the first coat to dry 20 to 40 minutes, applied your second coat, you do your stencil technique. The stencil pattern I used here, forgive me, I never know what these coats are, but this is on our website, and you can also inquire from your stockers. They have all the catalogs. This is a 30 by 30 centimeter. So on our website, under the 30 by 30 centimeter stencil catalog, you will notice this one. Then the same design is also available in a 45 by 45 centimeter design. And this is now for larger surfaces. You can repeat the pattern. So it looks like something that creeps on a wall, on a furniture piece. Beautiful to work with, absolutely one of my favorites. After my stencil pattern is completely dry, 20 to 40 minutes, I'm going to wash over my stencil. Lovely for a furniture piece, lovely for an accent wall if you want to create like a mural with any stencil design on it. So what I use is I use mutton cloth for my wash technique. I cut it more or less the size of an A4 page paper, normal paper size. I dampen it with water, and then I squeeze excess water out. Next step is I take paint, and I'm going to start with Gracious. It's a green, and now 2 fingers full of paint. You can use a paintbrush, and I evenly distribute this paint in my damp cloth. Cloth needs to be damp because the dampness allows you to spread the paint out evenly. Okay, so I make sure I rub in the paint. It's actually a dirty cloth I'm going to work with. Just want to remove all these frills. Next important step. I move my cloth. Due to the fact that I've cut the mutton cloth, you will see the fluff that it gives off. So I fold the mutton cloth like a ball in the palm of my hand, and I press it flat with my free hand. The flatter it is, and the lighter your movement on the surface, the more even the application will be. So I'm going to start my washing. So a flat, dirty cloth and light pressure, even movements. So this is a subtle change in color, and this is what you want. You can rather wait for the first coat to dry, 20 minutes, and then start on darker washed. So add another coat just to get a darker tone of your washed effect. So it's a subtle change in color, but that is what creates the beauty. For the camera purposes, I'm going to add more paint. So Crystal is behind the camera today. Crystal is a new member to our Tjhoko family. She's the graphic designer that we appointed recently. She's absolutely marvelous. Those of you that had the privilege to meet Crystal, you will know that there's no boundaries to her creativity. And I'm washing. Over my stencil.
We have a question from
Yes.
Violet van Heerden.
Yes,
Well, more
Violet.
of a statement. She says, ek sukkel met stencils, help asseblief. I think if Violet can maybe elaborate on what she's struggling with, if it's paint seeping or it's application or it's choosing stencils, just let us know and we can answer.
Okay, I'm going to give advice if it's paint seeping. So long, Violet, let us know exactly what it is you're struggling with, and then we will gladly assist. The drier your applicator. So when we do stencil work, we either use a stencil brush. So this is a stencil brush. It has short, hard bristles. And you actually, I'm going to show you here so that this makes sense. You actually, I'm going to use Frick's Forest. I dip my brush in my paint. I remove any excess. You can also use newspaper, cardboard. Remove excess. So my paintbrush is almost dry. Secure your stencil with masking tape. It's something that I didn't bring for this session, but secure it so that it can't move. The drier your applicator, the greater the success, and then the paint can't seep in underneath. What you do is you hold it up straight and you move in circular movements. So your first coat can rather be light with no mistakes, no paint seeping in any way, than having smudges. More paint is needed. Remove excess. And I hold flat the pieces where I see they are lifting, just to make sure it's done evenly, properly, everywhere. And I'm just going to do this section so that the process makes sense. And now I'm removing my stencil. And no paint could seep in underneath. You can now wait for that to dry. Just give it 10 minutes. Because it's such a thin layer of paint, it dries actually so quickly. And then just add another coat if you want a darker version of what I've done here. If it's a choice of stencil, find inspiration and ideas. There are so many of them. But I think that's most of the time something people struggle with. If it's a larger surface, like a wall, let me show you here. Then we use something like a foam roller. And this is what So on larger areas, like walls, we would recommend to use a foam roller. But once again, you evenly distribute the paint on the roller and you roll it out to remove excess paint. And then also apply very thin coats of paint on your stencils. Okay, I'm going to continue with the washed effect. Does that make sense? Is there another question, Crystal?
Yes. Okay, Charmaine Diedrichs asks, kan jy asseblief verder verduidelik hoe om Tjhoko paint op rotang meepels te gebruik? Ek wil graag ons stel wit maak.
Okay, so rotang kan jy een van twee goed doen. As jy 'n airless compressor het, you can use an airless compressor to spray paint it. The same with wicker furniture. Clean, well, I'm doing this in English, sorry. We have friends viewing from Switzerland, we have people from Australia, we have people from New Zealand and from from Mauritius watching. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands the message. English is not my first language, but I'm giving it my absolute best. Okay, so when painting onto wicker, clean well with lacquer thinners. We so often love to apply furniture polishes everywhere. Tjhoko is a water-based product, and the surface that you apply to needs to be grease-free, oil-free, so that Tjhoko can grip. Tjhoko has a built-in sealant, so it's not always necessary to apply the glaze. When you want to make surfaces water-resistant, more stain-resistant or UV-resistant, like outside pieces, that's when you will apply the glaze. So the cleaning process with lacquer thinners is the most important step. Clean well, then you can use a paintbrush, little paint, so that you apply in all the grooves and crevices. If it is a very dark wicker, what I do, before I paint with white, like cloud white, I first apply a coat of stone wash. White pigment, in general, in the paint industry, is a weaker pigment, then more coats are necessary. But if you apply a light grey to your surface, even with painting, fine art painting, a light grey at the back, and then put your white, yellow or red on top, it gives better coverage. So on wicker, clean well, most important step. First coat with stone wash, wait to dry, and then you start with your cloud white. You can either use a paintbrush or an airless compressor and spray paint it. That's actually the easiest. Okay, I hope it makes sense. Okay, so once I have now washed with Gracious, I am going to continue. I actually appreciate the questions because it gives my paint time to dry.
We have another one from Sloan Ubad.
Yes.
And she wants to know, Nadine, does Tjhoko go well on tiles? I want to give my bathroom a bit of a facelift as well as the floor. Plus I want to stencil here and there. Thank you.
Wall tiles, definitely. Floor tiles and something like a kitchen countertop are areas that we don't recommend to paint. It's high traffic areas and we can't guarantee. Wall tiles, yes. Once again, your cleaning process with lacquer thinners is the most important step. We, however, don't recommend to paint inside showers due to the excessive water in those areas. Wall tiles, there are videos on our YouTube channel. Go watch them where we show step by step how to paint onto wall tiles. If later you need them, just ask again. Nadine, please send that video link on tiles and I'll send it to you after this session. But we show there. Cleaning with lacquer thinners, once again, key to success. Mold grows on tiles in kitchens and bathrooms due to the steam and the moisture in those areas. So clean well, and then on that video we show step by step steps that need to follow.
Awesome.
Okay, next color I'm going to use is Pebble Shadow. So 2 fingers full. I wish you could see me last night. I started painting early and I think I went to bed after midnight in my painting clothes. I was literally too tired to take a bath. I woke up this morning and Jackie said, you look ready for the day. Yeah, covered in paint. Damp cloth, next coat. So this now has dried for a minute or 2 or 3. And now I wash on top. And you can determine the darkness. So if I want to remove more, I remove more and I wash.
I see we have Susan from Kenya saying she's watching as well, which is awesome.
Welcome to Tjhoko in South Africa. Let us know what Kenya is like. Send us pictures. We would all love to see. I've never been there. Yeah, we would love to know how you are, where you live in Kenya, and we will go look on Google Maps to see. Okay, that's super exciting. And here's my second color on. And now you can continue to add more colors. A color that I also introduced on the other side of this board was reddish mellow. So just a touch of pink. My board is still wet, but I want to see the show you the transition. So also once again, some paint evenly distributed in my cloth. And I'm just going to do this section so that you just can see the subtle transformation.
That's beautiful. We have another question from Alta Swart. She wants to know, verdun jy met 'n spreidtegniek?
Ja, as jy, if you use a low airless compressor, you do dilute the paint with water. So what we usually do, go watch the Bramley Children's Home insert on our YouTube channel. That's where Dieter actually taught me how to do spray painting with Tjhoko. So what he has done, he diluted Tjhoko, and he does all his renovations, furniture. He builds furniture for a life. The most bespoke, beautiful things. He dilutes Tjhoko with 10% water. But once again, it's actually the consistency. It needs to be watery, that it can go through the nozzle of your spray gun. So if he felt more water was needed, he added a little bit more. But we started with 5%, and then in some instances, due to the color composition of the paints, different colors have different consistencies. We added maybe a little bit more water, or just left it with a 5% dilution with only water. It works like a charm. Go watch the Bramley Children's Home insert with regards to spray painting and Tjhoko. It's really explained well by an expert in the field that showed us how to do this. Okay, and I'm going to stop here, and I just want to remove the...
Monique Smith wants to know, will this technique work on a canvas?
Oh, absolutely. Beautiful on a canvas, because a canvas has that natural woven effect. It's just light pressure, nice damp cloth, because the canvas is also more absorbent. You're beautiful, you will love it. Absolutely stunning. Something that is exciting. Do you think I can tell them what's going to happen later this year?
I do.
The set that we need to build.
I do.
Okay, this is just between us. So we are going to have, or be what is the right word? We are going to be
In
the
partnership,
DIY
yes.
partners in the Joe Black show, Do It Gewone Joe, that will be aired on VIA from April. And we are in the process of assisting building his set, do creatives, do paintings, and then definitely a canvas will be part of that process. Okay, once your wash work has been done and you're happy, and remember, it is paint. Relax. There are much more serious things in these times to worry about than things where you can actually have fun and enjoy. This is paint. You can apply coat after coat, change colors as you wish, and stop when you are completely happy. And if you feel something needs changing, just do it. If you feel unsure, message us on the Tjhoko Creations page, and we will assist. We have lovely, lovely people assisting all the time. So here on this piece, my wash work is complete, and I have started to do blending with Tjhoko on the leaves. I'm going to show you how to do this. Never ever would you know that this was a stencil and not freehand painting. And I'm going to share the tips with you so that you can do it. So for the leaves, I'm going to work with 3 colors. Frix Forest, Dumisa Stream, and Asgat. Asgat is named after a friend's dog, and I love Asgat as the personality of that lovely creature. Asgat is actually more human than dog, and this color just gives a sense of brightness to a piece. I'm going to select a nice paintbrush. Okay, ladies and gents, the quality of your paintbrush is key to success. So you need something with soft bristles, especially when it comes to something like blending. So something with soft bristles. I'm going to show you this. We will soon have artist brushes available both at the Stockers and our page. But as you can see there, it's soft bristles that will just evenly spread the paint. I'm going to start with Frick's Forest, then move to Dumisa and end it off with Asgat. So this is how you do it. I've mixed my Frick's Forest. This Frick's Forest is made with a very heavy pigment, so you need to stir all the time while you use it. I'm just going to move so that Crystal can see clearly. And relax. So what I do, let's start with a big one, so it's easy for. I just color in, but with paint. So I start with Frick's Forest.
While you are painting, I'm just going to ask another question.
Okay.
Charmaine van Sale wants to know, can you spray paint with glaze, and do you also have to dilute it?
Spray paint with glaze, no, I won't recommend, because it's a pure acrylic sealant. It will actually block the nozzle very quickly. Apply with a damp microfiber cloth. I also have clients that apply the glaze with a foam roller. But you need to know what you do when you work with a foam roller. So if you are not familiar with the use of a foam roller, a damp microfiber cloth is the best medium to work with. Also, once again, there are videos on our YouTube channel. Ask if we need to send you those links. So in between blending, I can use my spot sheet or a cloth. I'm just cleaning my brush. So there you can see how the colors mix together, and I end it off with Asgat. So dark on the one side and light on the other. And this is therapeutic. I promise you, I did it all night last night. And I'm just going to add, and this is the fun. As you want to add more, you add more. There's just Misa there. In the center, you can build it up, maybe make it thicker on some areas, thinner on others, and blending. Now moving to my next leaf. Start with Frick's Forest. Make sure you outline neatly. Dumisa. I'm actually going to use a smaller brush, because my leaf is smaller, my surface is smaller. You can dab to blend like I'm doing here. Clean before I move to my next color. Asgat here on the side. Clean my brush, dab so that the colors just blend and mix together. Make sure the line is done neatly. Add more Frick here, and you continue like this. Let's do this one. Frikkie. Frikkie, ek hoop jy kyk. Ek hoop jy sien hoe lief is ek vir jou keer. We painted the most beautiful furniture piece this week with Frick's Forest. Oh my word. You know we are busy writing our book. So yeah, we're in the process of planning. Writing not happening so much at this point, more painting, but it's an absolutely remarkable process. Please go watch the video behind the scenes of all the people in the factory. Okay, and now you play around until you feel that the colors blend well. You can add where you want, you can add more. If you want to blend, make sure your brush is clean. So I've just dabbed it clean, make sure I wiped it clean, and you dab, you can wipe, you can play around until you feel satisfied. Something that you can also do just to bring some light into your painting is use something like Cloud White or Davet. I have Davet here. Also a nice, good quality artist brush. Just dip the edge of the brush in Davet, remove excess, and let's see where's the relief that needs some white. Let's do it here. And on that section, I'm just giving some light. Can you see how it just lightens it up? We can go over this one, there. And it just gives life to your surface. Now, to make the flowers, you do the following. How do I clean my paintbrushes? In water. So I have water here. I put them in water so that the bristles remain soft. And whenever I want to use it, make sure you dry them well first. So I have a very not so good quality paintbrush here, but there's a use for everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Holiday's Coral. Look how beautiful crystal that is drying. And wait for it to dry, and then you can see where you want to add, maybe build up more texture and more colors. So I'm going to dip this very, it's not ugly because it's creating beautiful things. Unique paintbrush.
Loud color.
In some Holiday's Coral, and let's add a flower. Let's see where. Let's do it here.
Yeah, at the bottom.
So let's say I'm going to make a leaf there. Petal, 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 and it's art. Ladies, so relax.
We have a sweet comment from Ada Pinner. She says, beautiful, ek love jou hande, altyd vol verf.
Hi Daitjie, jy's so baie my gedagtes. Ek hoop dit gaan super goed met jou. Ek love jou nuwe haarstyl. Jy lyk so pragtig. Dit's uit my hart uit, lief vir jou. Okay, now I can use my better quality paintbrush. Dry it. And I'm also going to blend. So for my pink flowers, my base coat was Holiday's Coral, and I'm going to add some reddish mellow and Terrina's Idea. And I'm simply dabbing some colors to that. And some texture. I'm not an artist, so see me as inspiration. But this is something everyone can do, and with great success have something very unique in their own space.
Marie Swanepoel says, is the stencil available from Tjhoko?
Yeah, it's a Tjhoko Paint stencil. Go look on our Tjhoko Paint website. Lee, if you can hear me, please share the website address. All our stockists also have catalogs. You can also inquire from your nearest Tjhoko stockist. It's a unique Tjhoko stencil. So I'm just building some texture and colors here, and when it dries it will be absolutely amazing. And to get the dot in the center, I'm going to use Simon Says. Use the back of my paintbrush and just dot a dot. And then when that is dry, I will just add some David just for color. Last night I realized, and it's also a question we frequently receive this week, can you mix Tjhoko paint colors to get different colors? Absolutely. So last night I was sitting and painting here, and the rest of the family went to bed. And all my paint, it's like a factory shop in my garage. All the colors are there, neatly packed. And I realized I didn't have brown here, and I was too afraid to walk alone to the dark garage to get brown, and I thought, let me rather just mix my own. I'm going to show you how I mix my brown paint. I'm going to use the back of my stencil. I used the lid of my console jar to mix my paint, but that's now packed away. So I'm going to mix some. So to get brown, you mix 3 primary colors together. Blue, yellow and red. So blue and yellow gives green, so there's blue and yellow already. I don't have red here, but I have pink, and pink is white and red pigment together with others to get this very unique Holiday's Coral, but this worked. So it's trial and error. So mix, mix, mix together.
Joyce wants to know, how do you get such clear lines in the bottles you paint?
Clear lines?
I'm assuming the straight cut of the line.
Masking tape. You use masking tape to get those clear lines. There are videos on our YouTube channel. Please ask if we can send it to you, and where we paint onto glass and where we share those tips. So masking tape for the straight lines. Look, here's brown, everybody. Now if I want to make it lighter, I will add more pink to get it similar to what I have on my painting already. This is the only thing, if you paint larger surfaces, you need to actually measure exactly the quantity of colors you mix together to get color consistency if you need to remix. Okay, but there's brown, and it's very similar to what I have here. I can add more holiday scarlet to get it lighter, but I'm not going to waste time on that. Then I take my paintbrush and the stems of my...
Let me get to a spot where I can see. There we go.
I'm going to work here. Will you be able
Yeah.
to see that? So here where I have branches, I think you call them. What is it?
Stems, branches.
Stems. Okay. Luckily Crystal is English. You can, there I have a beautiful brown that I mixed. You can just fill it in. And even next to that line, it needs to be, doesn't need to be straight onto that line. My dirty hand now messed that up. How do I fix? While it's still wet, you can take water. Due to the fact that Tjhoko has a built-in sealant, you won't be able to wipe it off if it's dry. So I'm quickly, while it's still wet, remove it. And you can see the base is untouched. Okay. And I just make sure it looks like a painting. Okay. So I'm going to finish this. We are actually painting. This will be the feature of the unit. Color is music to the soul. So wherever you go, something that I also realized in this week, we need color around us, even if it's with the people you interact with. Surround you with people that gives color and meaning to you, and a purpose. And our key focus for this year is going to be color. So I hope you've enjoyed this session. Have a colorful, marvelous week. Until we see each other again next week, ask those questions. We are here and we're ready to assist and help. Stay safe. Bye.